Welcome to The Abundance Journey, the show that helps spiritual entrepreneurs create an abundance mindset that accelerates revenue. Here's your host, the Abundance Ambassador, Elaine Starling.
What if optimism isn't really about looking on the bright side? It's actually about finding the courage to keep going in the dark. If you've ever felt like you really had to just try to hold it all together because your life was starting to unravel, well, this conversation is totally for you because Mike Baker brings a rare blend of vulnerability and vision, reminding us that strength is not about perfection. It's about presence and purpose. That's something we create. It's not something we wait for. Mike Baker is a nonprofit CEO, musician, artist, and the author of The Optimists Way. With over 700,000 music streams and a lifetime of service, he weaves together story, sound, and soul to help people reconnect with what matters most. His work blends creativity, faith, and real-life leadership, and his reflections are going to challenge the way you think about hope, healing, and human connection. Welcome. I'm so happy you could join us, Mike.
Thank you so much. Thank you for that introduction. And just thank you for just allowing me to be a part of this journey with you. I've loved listening to your podcast. The energy you bring to the world is incredible and such an honor to be a part of it. So thank you.
Oh, hey, like calling to like, your energy is amazing. And I want to make sure that we get the most out of our time together. So we're going to do two things to connect our energy. Yours, mine, with everyone listening and watching, as well as with the God of your understanding. We all are in cahoots together to create an incredible experience. So the two things we're going to do. First, we're going to take 3 long, slow, deep breaths together. And as you breathe in through the nose, think the words, I am. And as you breathe out through the mouth, think the word consciousness. Now, I'll remind you when we get to that part, but that's what we're going to do. And
That's perfect.
then I'm going to share an intention. I always point at my heart when I say intention. It's inside us. And if you think about it, it's kind of like the directions we're giving to a spiritual GPS. We're letting the God of your understanding, I like to call this the divine, we're letting the divine know here's where we're going to go and here's how we're going to feel as we're enjoying this incredible journey and unfolding. And then the entire conversation that we have actually fulfills that intention, which is kind of awesome because we don't have a script. We're just winging it here.
It's amazing.
Isn't life like that? I mean, we're winging it
Absolutely
too. So, yeah. So the thing that's kind of interesting about the intention is we're going to hold it in silence for 78 seconds. Yeah, I know. It feels like a long time when you're in that 78 seconds. And I've got 2 tricks that really help me stick it out and stay present. Presence, we're all about presence. Stay present with the intention. The first thing I do is I'll pick 2 or 3 words out of the intention that just feel uplifting and expansive. It's that high vibration that I truly want to experience. And I'll say those words over and over again to myself in my mind just to stay up there. And then I notice what's happening with my body because sometimes I'll get goosebumps or an image will come in. And all that is, it's a sign that the divine has locked in to that higher vibration and they're ready to play with us. So, shall we get started?
Let's do it.
Awesome. Let's take 3 long, slow, deep breaths together. Breathe in, I am. Breathe out, consciousness. Breathe in, I am. Breathe out, consciousness. Breathe in, I am. Breathe out, consciousness. In love and light, we hold the intention that we show up with truth, presence, and love, so we enjoy fulfilling and abundant lives. Thank you, Divine. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It is done. We give thanks, and so it is. Wow, that was cool.
So good.
I don't know what you felt. What came through for
Nice.
you?
Oh, I like anytime I do things like that, just that inner peace, that calm that always hits me right here. It just feels so good. So thank you for
Wow.
that's amazing.
Yeah, it was really interesting. I felt like a full body smile. I felt all the atoms in my body shifting around and dancing. And it was just delightful. It was really, I love your energy, Mike. I mean, you're really,
Thank you.
wow, you're
Thank
blowing
you.
the doors off this
Well,
already.
this
We haven't
is
even said
it's
anything.
so great. I love it takes a village, right? It's
It
so fun to
does.
have all of that together. So I love it. Thank
So
you.
I know how incredibly passionate you are about what you're doing and this blend of different media that you've put together that really help us connect with the truth of who we are. What got you started with this, and why are you so passionate and so committed to it?
This whole journey began out of pain. My daughter has endometriosis. It's a really terrible disease. And as a dad, like my job, my soul is designed to protect and heal and take pain away. And we had a night where everything just broke. She was in pain. I couldn't do anything to help her. All I could do was sit there and hold her hand. And I felt something break inside, and I had to figure something out. And so I turned to the internet and I started like connecting with these AI tools that would allow me to take what was in my head and turn it into something powerful. And so I started creating these images of so my daughter as this warrior, this fighter, this person that's taking on this disease and being this strong thing, because that's what I see. That's what I see in all of the people around the world that I've worked with. They are these super powerful fighter women just taking on this awful disease. And I want to remind people of that and that connection that comes from the image I create to the feeling that they have. Just, it fills my soul. It makes me so happy and it's addicting. And so I started, that's how I got started. And I kind of went through this journey to where I'm at today. And I love it, but it's all about connections. And I want to put good things into the world and hopefully remind people that they are enough, they are strong enough, and if they're not feeling that way, like, get a hold of me, borrow some of my energy. You can have it. It's there for you.
Yeah, and it's really interesting because I don't know if you've witnessed this or not, Mike, but I've noticed that growth is like a spiral. It's not a straight line. We love to think that it's a straight line, and it's not. It tends to circle back on itself, but when it does come back again, we're actually at a higher vantage point. We're at a higher consciousness level. We are able to process it more quickly, resolve it more comfortably, and having someone who can hold the space for you when you're not feeling it, you're having a really
Yeah,
tough time,
yeah.
but someone
Yep.
who can see the brilliance in you and witness your strength and your courage and your compassion and your commitment, that really allows us to accept where we are. And you talked about presence and how important presence is. I want you to delve into that because you and I, yeah, we're real simpatico on this.
I think we get it. I think we get it. I
Yeah.
mean, it's really easy to say, I think it's very common. Like, how are you? You know, how can I help? Or let me know if you need anything versus I'm going to come just sit with you. Like, I know you're having a really hard time and we don't have to talk. Like, I'm a fixer, so it's really hard for me. Like, we have code language in my family. Like, is this a hug, fix, or fight moment? Right. It's a very good, but you know, like it gives me a job, but that's really helped me know, like, okay, right now, all I can do is my job is to give you the best hug on the planet and be present with you and just sit through this journey with you. I have some lyrics in some of the songs that I've written where it's all about that friend that shows up and sits with you. I can't think of a better way to describe presence as sharing the experience with someone. As much as I want to, I can't take it away from you. But I can walk alongside you and I can cheer you on. I can complain with you if you want to complain. You can vent, whatever it is. Like we can be there. And for me, relationships matter so much, and that's what I'm just trying to model. Like you have to be there. You have to be part of it. So when I send a text message, when I call, when I'm checking in, like I mean it. I want to know how you're doing. And some days I need help. And I want people to come sit with me. And I'm not great at asking for help. And that's something we all struggle with, right? So I'm trying to model that a little bit.
Absolutely. And I love what you're saying about presence and not trying to fix it. Because when I'm in pain, I have to be willing to honor that pain, honor how I feel. And only when I can accept it and breathe through it can I get to the other side and start looking at some of the deeper messages that might be there for me. And your willingness to just be present without forcing me through the process prematurely. You know, I won't get as much out of it if you try to just drag me to the other side, you know, off to fix it. That doesn't really help. Now, I want to ask
I'm
you
not
a
great
question.
at that, by the way. Sorry, I just want to. I'm terrible at that. Like that is the skill set I have been working on. I want to make sure I'm very authentic here. Like I'm not the expert at that, but I am working so hard at just letting it flow. We have a quote in our family. We talk about that pain is your friend, and that sounds weird sometimes, but honestly, it means so much when you recognize that. Like this is going to help me get better. It sucks going through it. But as you said, you're at a higher elevation when you go through it. So sorry for cutting you off there.
No. I just was going to ask you this. There's one question I always ask my guests, and I never get the same answer twice, which I love. Given what you're teaching and all of the things that are in your book and the relationship you have with your daughter, how would you define abundance?
Yeah. So my mom taught me that the most. And I talk about that a little bit in the book, but abundance for me is that connection that we have with the environment around us, the world around us, the people around us. My heart is full when I'm with people that I'm connected with. I want that in my life. You can chase money, you can chase jobs, you can chase all of that stuff. Some people define it in that way. Abundance for me is that lack of needing anything more than just feeling somebody's heartbeat, feeling the energy that they are sharing with me. That's abundance. And wouldn't the world be such a better place if that's what we were focused on versus the material side of abundance? It's really easy to have a house full of stuff, but there's so many people that feel lonely, and we weren't designed to be lonely. So
Oh, I love that. I love that connection with it's the opposite of lonely, right? It's that feeling of connection, connected to all that is, because that sensation of oneness, and you know, oneness, it doesn't mean that everything's perfect all the time. Oneness includes the bad stuff as well as the good stuff. And when we can reframe it and redefine something that we are currently experiencing as bad and go a little deeper. And how does this help me connect with myself? And what other messages are here for me? How could this show up as love for me and remind me to love myself exactly as I am right now in this moment? That's a trick, man. We're all learning how to do that one.
Absolutely. My oldest son Jacob taught me this. So for him, and I think it's really good for all of us, but sometimes that abundance can come when we're all alone. That connection. So he loves to go to the woods. He drives his Jeep up into the mountains, and he has his spots where his soul is grounded there, and it's another place to restore. So even when we're alone and maybe we don't have people around us, those quiet moments that we find in life, they allow us to also sort of borrow that energy from the universe and recharge our souls. And I think that's really important to remember as well.
Yeah, that is a really important insight, because it's not all through community. There has to be that inner space and really being in touch with yourself inside, and then being willing to be present with others as that self, right? Without trying to perform, without trying to, put on a show or be who you think you're supposed to be in the moment. And that's the journey. That's one of the things that we're learning how to do. Well, you've worked with lots of people, and I know that you've got a ton of experience around here. What do you notice are kind of the common symptoms that show people are ready for this tipping point, that they're ready to move beyond where they are now?
Yeah. Oh, that's such a great question. I think the universe is always out there preparing us for that next step. So I've seen it when people they're just so tired. I see exhaustion. I see this feeling of being drained, where people are finally saying, I can't do this anymore. And that can go two ways, right? And it's very sad. You can see people lose hope, and they make some really drastic choices that impact the world. Or you can say, I've got to do something about this, and I'm going to find that connection. I'm going to find hope. I always talk about, like, borrow a little of my hope. Like, if you're in that dark place, like, you can have mine. It's so important. And I think once people feel that connection again, they can realize that, okay, the next hour can be better. The next 2 hours can be better. Tomorrow, it can be better. I have to do the work. I have to show up, and I have to be present with my pain and the problems I'm facing. But I also can make the choice to look out into the universe and say, it can be better. It really can be. But it takes both of those forces working together, you being willing and then accepting what the universe has in store for you.
Oh, I love that. Be willing and accept what the universe has in store. Oh, I'm writing it down. I'm taking notes the whole time you're talking, because this is really brilliant stuff. And I love learning from masters. I'm just absorbing all this like a sponge, because it's so good. And you pop me off in a lot of different directions. And I don't want to take us too far off track. But when you were talking about presence and the power of presence, immediately what I was reminded of is the 5 love languages, and how quality time is one of the most important love languages out there. Just being with someone else. And it doesn't even matter what you're doing. You might be in the same room watching television together. You might be in the same room reading different books, doing something different, but you're together. That togetherness, that physical proximity is very comforting. It's very nourishing, especially when you're in a safe space where you can be who you are, and you're not having to put on airs and graces and perform, right? You're being present to what's happening for you in this moment. Super powerful.
Yeah, I love that. Understanding people's love languages is also very important. So for my wife, it is presence. When we talk, she all she talks about is wanting to be together with the kids, with me. I like doing gestures. So I'll write her a song, and we'll do these really cool things. And I'm like, see how much I love you? Versus I just, and she loves them. It's great. But it's really funny because she understands what I'm doing, but her love language is sit here on the couch with me. Let's go like this weekend for Father's Day. We went and we took a nap on our boat in the middle of the lake, and it was perfect. It was the best way to spend the day. So I think it's really important to be aware of how other people are driven and not expecting. If you don't know it, then I expect, if she doesn't say that was the most beautiful song ever and I love you, right? I can be hurt versus I know what she wants, and that's a journey. It took a little while for us to get there, but
it's really
that's the
funny
fun
because
part about it.
I hear you using 3 out of the 5 love languages, just so you know. So there's quality time,
Right.
there's words of affirmation. And what's in your song? Words of affirmation, right? There's doing things for others, which is my husband's favorite. Words of affirmation is mine, and doing things for others is his. Little surprises. Well, every single song you write is a little surprise. And physical touch. And I bet you're holding hands or you're using a whole lot of love languages at once. And that I call that a love force field. You're just creating a love
I love
vortex.
the force field. I love that.
When you use all 5 of the love languages, you create this safe space where people are allowed to be exactly who they are. Now, I have a challenging question for you, Mike, because I've noticed that every time I want my external world to change, like this really hurts and I want that to change, I know that's inside my body, but it is my experience and I want that to change. Something has to shift inside me. And usually it's a mindset, it's an outlook, it's a perspective shift that allows me to have a new experience. What have you noticed? People have to be willing to change in order to have that transformation.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think it's kind of going back to, I think the universe grinds us down until we're ready to admit that we need to make that change. Like, it just feels like things just keep getting pushed on. And at some point you're like, okay, I get it. The path I'm wrong is the wrong place. And sometimes that message comes. So I love like Brianna Wiest and Keith Lee, that, they write these, and it's sort of how I modeled my book. It's just short segments that you read every day. And my friends and I had been reading those for the last couple of years. And like, we take a screenshot, like, this was voodoo magic today. Like, this is what I needed to hear. And because it hits you directly in the soul, and you're like, oh, that's what they're trying to tell me. And I think that stuff really helps. So you have to get ground down, you have to be humbled and be ready. And then at some point there's that aha moment, whether it's a conversation of, your podcast is amazing for this kind of stuff, books you read, things like that, where it's like somehow you have to go find that message and it'll get to you. It could be a homeless guy on the street that smiles at you and it unlocks something in your head. And you're like, man, I wish I could be that grateful. Right. And I think that's how the world works.
It is so true. It is so true. And what you said here was really, really powerful, because that being humble means you're willing to be coached by the divine, by the God of your understanding. Instead of thinking, well, I have to know how everything works and I have to be in charge and I have to be in control of the universe and then I can be happy. The universe is saying, no, you could be happy right now. Feel free to be happy right now without anything changing. And when you're willing, enjoy inspiration, listen to Mike's music, listen to things that inspire you and uplift you and encourage you. Pictures are incredibly powerful. Get out in nature. I love being in nature. Anything that helps you feel part of that expansiveness, part of the oneness, that's brilliant. And you start to see yourself in a different way. Yeah. Man.
Yeah. I love how everything just shapes. I think the universe, and maybe it's the optimist view, but I think the universe is rooting for us to be successful. Maybe some people feel the opposite. And if you looked at science and entropy, maybe that's not true. But as you look at it, I think the universe wants us to be successful. The God of your understanding, however you want to frame it, there's a path for joy, and we have to open our minds up and look for it, because it doesn't always just come along and smack you along the head. Some days it does.
Yeah. It was pretty interesting. I was blessed to have a stroke on New Year's Day 2005. And I always say blessed because during my stroke, I had a conversation with my higher power. And I got a complete download about how everything works, why we're alive, how we can live our best life, and what happens next after this life. It's a graduation, not an ending, no big deal.
I love
And
it.
I was told there are 3 key things that the divine wants us to do. The first is be love in this moment right now. And we could equate that to being present, right? And it's about us being the love that is needed in this moment, not looking for the love and how's everybody else making me feel better about who I am, choosing to feel good about who we are and be present in this moment as love. So that's step 1. Step 2, notice the love that's already present. And by the way, it's
Ooh,
a
I like
scavenger
that.
hunt. We're not making it easy and obvious. I mean, sometimes it is, but usually you have to look under the bushes. You have to dig around a little bit to figure out, ask different questions, get inspiration. So you notice a moment that it really gives you new insight. And all of a sudden you discover, yeah, that homeless guy who smiled at me, that was a blessing sent by the divine.
Mm-hmm.
To help me recognize that gratitude is present in all ways, in all situations. And I can step into gratitude right in this moment. Yeah, beautiful. And
No, I
then the
love that.
third thing is to get together with other people and collaborate, because every time you get together, even when you think you're having an argument, in reality, you are creating space for more love. That's what happens. So those are the 3 things that
I love that. I was
the divine
taking
wants us
notes
to do.
too. I
Yeah.
love that.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
So it just really spoke to me when you said the universe is rooting for us. Yes, they are, big time. I'm going to share one more story. Sorry, I definitely want to ask you some more
Oh,
questions,
please
but I
do.
want to share
This
one
is
more story
great.
because
I
it
love
so
it.
relates to what you're talking about. So
Yeah.
during my stroke, they asked me a rhetorical question. They said, okay, everything is love. You are love. The air you're breathing is love. The chair you're sitting in is love. The God of your understanding is love. Everything is love. So, how do you expand love when everything already is love? I was like, well, I don't know. And they
Like,
said,
thanks for
well,
the challenge.
yeah, really. They said, well, we decided to create human beings who do not think that everything is love. You experience contrast, the difference between what is wanted and what is not wanted. And that friction gives you the superpower of choice. You either step back in fear, trying to stay safe and comfortable with what you already know, or you step forward with grateful curiosity and love. And every time you step forward, you expand love, you expand the divine. Being physical is the expansion joint of the divine. You are actually contributing to enhancing, enriching, and enlarging the God of your understanding. That's why you've been physical many times in the past, and you will be physical many times in the future, because this is the rock star place to be. And the key thing is, I love my little Weeble. This is a baby toy. It's got a
Oh,
round
yeah.
bottom, so if you hit it, it goes sideways. And there was a nice little tune that they sang with their commercials, Weebles wobble, but they don't fall down. Well, we are the same way.
I love that. Yeah.
We are given all kinds of challenges and issues and opportunities to go out of alignment, so that we decide to use the tools of meditation, of prayer, of whatever we know to use to get back into alignment. And it's that movement from being out to going back in that expands the divine. So, of course, they're going to give us lots of situations to go out of alignment. Good news,
Some
bad
days you're
news.
like, I didn't really mean to pray for patience, though.
Yeah. So true. Well,
Oh, I
Mike,
love that. Thank you for sharing. That's so cool. I love this conversation.
it's really true. Yes, the God of your understanding has your back. They love you. They believe in you. They're rooting for you. They are your biggest cheerleaders. And
Oh,
no matter what happens in your life, no matter if you would view it as, oh, I just, fell right on my face, they do not. They view it as part of your expression of learning who you are, the divine embodiment that you are. So I want to get back to all of the processes, all the things that you're supporting people with. Could you give us 1 or 2 small little steps that would help us get on the right track?
yeah, I love it. Well, I mean, just listen to your podcast. That probably has all the secrets of the universe. So we'll set that one aside. Uh, but honestly, I think this conversation flushes it out. So for me, the best conversations I ever have, I think the best human experience is sitting by a campfire with somebody late at night under the stars. And I bring that up because I think that's what we need to search for. You need to search for those campfire moments in your life that can help you slow down and make those choices to say, I'm going to look at tomorrow with positivity and light, the Optimist Way, or I'm going to look at it from another way that the universe is out to destroy me. And I think being in the place where I can make that decision that's the first step. And then once you do that, it's the grace with yourself that I'm not going to be perfect tomorrow. When I make a decision to try to do something better, I'm going to stumble, I'm going to fall. I love the story of Sisyphus. I've kind of adapted it for my world, but it's happy work. Like, I have to push that rock up the hill, and some days you get it to the top and you tap it and it rolls down and you look up and there's another valley, or sometimes it rolls back and it smushes you. But I have a tattoo of it, and I have the sunshine above it. And it's just representing that happy work, the journey, right? Like, we need to find the joy in everything we do, but each time we're pushing that rock, it's making us stronger. It's giving us a challenge. So I think those two elements right there of just put yourself in a space to be able to accept what's going to come your way, make that active decision, and then have the grace with yourself to just keep pushing the rock.
I love it. I love it. And, there is another fable about God telling someone to push a rock, and the guy's pushing the rock, and he's pushing the rock, and he's pushing the rock, and it's going nowhere. And he's pushing the rock, and he months of pushing the rock, and he's got muscles on top of muscles, and he's pushing that darn rock, and it's not going anywhere. And finally, he gives up. He's like, God, I can't get this freaking rock to go anywhere. I'm giving up. And God goes, excuse me, I'll move the rock when I want the rock to move. I told you to push the rock, not move the rock.
Exactly. Enjoy the journey.
Yeah, this is the journey. It is a beautiful journey of unfolding and discovering the divinity within, because you are a gift, you are a blessing, you are a joy, and you're the only one who doesn't see that consistently. So being willing
Absolutely.
to see that within.
We all see our scars. I mean, that's what we look in the mirror, and I struggle with imposter syndrome, all that, like being on your podcast, writing a book, putting songs out there. Like, every time I put it out, I'm like, oh, they're going to discover the fraud that I am, right? This is terrible. And, but it's that other side of it when I get a comment from somebody that says, hey, that lyric in that song, that helped me get through my day, or that page in the book that hit this thing, that's what I needed to hear today. And boy, I still doubt myself, but those are the lessons that I take in and say, I am okay, and I probably am adding value. And as hard as that is to say, it's even harder to recognize and take it in. But that's the journey, and I'm trying to model that. Like, I'm a guy, and I'm supposed to be tough and fierce and not show emotion and blah blah blah. That's not true. Like, we need to be real. We need to be soft when we need to be soft. We need to allow these things to come in. And I'm just hoping, again, with the work that I'm doing, I'm hoping that it connects and it models that, look, we're all imperfect. We're all trying. Let's do this together.
And, I want to bring it back, because you just gave me an aha. You gave me a divine download here. So I want to share what the divine download was. So you were talking about imposter syndrome, and you just kind of wonder if this is going to land at all. And immediately I received the message, each of us is responsible for what we're ready to receive. When I'm ready to receive it, I will receive it, and I will make my own interpretation of what it means. Like, I just got this divine download because of what you said. And it might not have been exactly what you meant, but I got what I needed, right?
Yeah.
So you don't have to stress over, but are people really going to get it? Are they really going to like it? That doesn't matter. What matters is that you are being present and using your gifts, right? That means it's a success. Because when you can own who you are, and you can share who you are authentically, genuinely, with all the nerves and all the discomfort and all the concerns, and be comfortable in your discomfort. comfortable that this is who I am and I'm doing the best I can. And I love doing this. And I hope you get value out of it. I mean, that is the definition of success, right?
Absolutely. Success, abundance, right? I mean, that is it right there. It's just being okay with what's in front of you. And just, I love being present with abundance. I don't know if that's the right way to say that.
No, it's
but
very true. Presence
it's really,
is abundance.
it's okay. It's really, this is all that we need is that. Yeah.
Awesome.
Wow. This has been so fun.
So incredible.
Yeah,
now, Mike,
thank you.
I do believe you are making a wonderful gift available for the audience.
Yes.
Could you tell us a little bit about that?
Absolutely. So again, the whole reason I do this, I want to connect with people all across the world. So wherever you are, like the tools that we have available to us, like you could send a carrier pigeon and that'd be so cool. But social media seems to be a place where we gather for good and bad. So what I'd like to do, I want to give away some copies of my book. And so all I would love to hear from you, just find me on social media, Instagram, Facebook, wherever. I'm all over the place. And I think they're in the show notes after. But just go find one of those spaces, send me a message about something you got from the show, or even just say hi. And then I'll gather those after about 2 weeks, and we'll give away 5 books and send them out. So I'll sign them
That is so generous.
Get them out to you. So I want people in the world to have these books. It's fun to sell them, and sure, but for me, it's getting this into the hands of people that need it, and I love it. So that's my share. I hope that works.
I think that's amazing. Now, Mike, I'm going to ask you for one more thing too. Do you have any of your songs online?
I do. So absolutely. So the other thing that will come with that, thank you for the reminder. No, the other thing that will come with that is, everyone that pushes it over. I'll push you a link, but you also can just click on. So I'm on all the streaming services now. The album title that goes with the book is called The Optimists Way. So it's easy enough to remember the title. But I have lots of other music out there as well. So go to your favorite streaming service. It's on YouTube. You can use the music in your Instagram and TikTok reels. So help me spread the message and share it with other people.
Brilliant. Well, now, Mike, one of the things that we know is that when we give is when we truly receive the most. So what's something that we can do to support you?
Honestly, I love hearing your stories. I love hearing the stories about how the work that I've done has impacted you, but that's not really the goal here. The goal is to make the world a better place. So if something that you and I have talked about resonates with anyone that's listening today, go be the person that smiles at the person that needs it. Go be that intention driver for the universe and make a difference today. Buy a coffee, wave at somebody, give someone a hug, like do one thing for me, for you, for all of us. Because if we do more of that, like the world needs that so bad right now. The world just needs a big hug. And the only way we can do that is if we connect with enough people and make that happen. So that's my ask is obviously, follow me and be part of my journey, but take it and do something with it. Go make the world a better place.
So beautiful. Wow. You've left me with quite a dilemma because I have pages and pages of notes.
It's all right. We'll stay connected for sure. So,
man, this was amazing. So now I got to pick just one. That's going to be a trick. Thank you.
I love
so
the challenge.
Much. Thank you so much for joining me today. This was absolutely magical. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, stick around. We're going to activate abundance in just a minute. Wow, Mike Baker is the real deal. This guy's amazing. Step 1 is gratitude. Okay, I got to tell you, hearing about presence from a totally different perspective really enriches my life and enriches my world. It allows me to understand what presence really is for me, right? Because somebody shares a concept with you, presence. That's nice. What does it look like, sound like, feel like, taste like, smell like? What is that when it's at home? And Mike brought so much value when he was talking about, everything that we covered, but especially since his focus is kind of presence and how are you showing up? Because how you show up determines what you get to experience. And we want you to experience love all the time. So step one is gratitude. Hugely grateful to Mike for just opening my world the way he did. Step two is to acknowledge something you heard that was a little aha for you. And I'm going to do a naughty thing and do a combo instead of just one thing, because he had so many great things to share. He said, I really want you to know that you are strong enough. You are strong enough. And then he talked about feeling imposter syndrome. And I got the divine download from him that it's up to you to be willing to show up and know that you are strong enough to show up and be who you are. You don't have to worry about the judgments and the beliefs and what other people are thinking, saying, and doing, because you don't control that. You control your relationship with you and how you choose to show up in this moment as your authentic self, honoring your gifts and doing the best you can with what you have right now in this moment, being the love that you are. That's all you're obligated to, because every single person you meet has different special sunglasses on that only let in things that they're ready to receive. So it doesn't really matter that much what you're doing, because if they're not ready to receive it, they're not going to receive it. Now, you being the best person you can be is great, especially for you. And you function as a role model for others, so they want to show up that way too. And a lot of people are more willing to go within and discover their own presence when you are fully present. So there's a lot of value in your willingness to be fully present. So that's what I want to acknowledge, is that knowing that you are strong enough and your strength is in your presence. That was a really big game changer for me. Step three is to appreciate the difference it can make in your life. Well, all of a sudden, a lot of the burden is off of me. I don't have to control the rest of the world. I don't have to make sure that absolutely everybody experiences this massive transformation. That's on them. And if you're listening or watching this, sorry, but that's on you, right? I can lead the horse to water, but I can't make him drink. I can show you what it's all about, right? I can celebrate what works for me and what's worked for other people. And then I get to let you choose, and I get to love you exactly as you are, no matter what you choose. Because it's all a part of your journey and your perfect unfolding into who you truly are. And as I witness that, and I witness that beauty, I witness the beauty of me being willing to show up in my own presence. And then I witness the impact that my willingness to be present has on others. That is an incredible gift. Okay, step four, we're going to activate it. This is where we take something that is a vague concept and we're going to turn it into a tangible physical reality. I found 3 ways to do this. The first way I call schedule time to get it done. Journaling is a big part of this. Meditations, time in nature, all of your spiritual practices, schedule time to get it done. Because if you don't, life is busy and you're not going to do it. So make time. I love journaling because there's so much going on up there between my ears. Until I write it down, I don't really get an objective perspective on what's happening. And I don't see how present I'm being or not, right? So by taking time to get it done and journaling about what's going on in my life, then I get this objective perspective and I can see, this is how being present manifests for me. This is how I know I am fully present, because these are the kinds of things I'm thinking. This is the kind of stuff I'm feeling. This is the sort of thing I'm doing that embodies presence for me. But until I acknowledge that, I'm floating around in the ether. So yeah, schedule time to get it done, journal, so you know what being present really looks like for you. The second way to activate abundance is to create a physical trigger, like crossing your fingers or tugging on your earlobe as a reminder, okay, I'm going into this meeting, I'm getting on this phone call, and I am going to be fully present and authentic and real. I'm going to honor my gifts and know that by being present, I am being the best gift I could possibly be for myself as well as for others. And I already know what presence means because I already figured that out in my journaling. So yeah, that little physical trigger reminds me, this is how I choose to show up. I choose to be present. The third way that we activate abundance is with something I call an abundance buddy. Most people call them accountability buddies, but I'm all about abundance. So this is where you've got a really good friend who knows you, who loves you, who gets you, who values you. And you say, hey, I want to be really present. So if you notice that I'm distracted, I'm not paying attention, or you think my mind's wandering and it looks like I'm here, but I'm kind of not really here, I've sort of checked out, would you please bring that to my attention? Because I am committed to being more present. Because when I am present, I'm there for myself and I'm there for others at the same time. Okay? They can see it when you lose sight of it. So an abundance buddy really makes a difference. Step 5, celebrate your progress. As we were saying earlier, Mike called it. This is part of the journey. It's not a one and done. This is an ongoing unfolding of the beauty of who you are. You are such a blessing and you are blessed. So please bless us with your full, complete, aligned presence. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'll see you next time for the Abundance Journey.
You've been listening to the Abundance Journey Show with Elaine Starling. Visit theabundancejourney.com/podcast gifts to access today's gift, as well as gifts from our other guests. Tune in every week to activate abundance in your life and business. If something resonated with you, please share it with your friends so they can benefit too. Keep activating abundance, and we'll see you in the next episode.